Hello, this is the President. Hello, this is the President of the United States. Who is this? Is it you again?
Look behind you.
This is my private line. How did you get through?
They're everywhere. All the time. We see them every day. But you have to look behind you.
There is nothing behind me. How did you get this number?
The spaceman told me.
What spaceman?
It doesn't matter. They're telling you about monsters. Please, you must look behind you.
Young lady, there are no monsters in the Oval Office.
The loudspeaker spoke up and said,
Wait, see me.
the loudspeaker spoke up and said,
Wait, see me.
the loudspeaker spoke up and said, give up, give up, give up, give up, give up.
Wait, see me. Wait, see me. Wait, see me.
I'm Clyde Lewis, and this is Ground Zero.
Tell anybody else about this because it's, you could get in the wrong hands.
Would we use perception to help shroud what we're trying to protect? Absolutely. If you've got an aerial platform that is highly advanced and the public who happens to get a glimpse of the thing, then there's no way it could be our military. Well, hey, that's awesome. Hell yes.
It's been a cover story in the U.S. for a long time. Tell the media, tell anybody who will listen, that they're using UFOs to cover up advanced technology, when the truth is exactly the opposite of the words.
The secret status of the base is very, very well preserved. And even if people are talking about the operation of the U-2s back in the 1950s, 40 years ago, they're still not allowed to identify the base by name or by location. All they can say is it is a remote facility.
This place is an old anachronism from the Cold War.
No bodies. There were 4 live, feeling good guys. 4 live, feeling good, extraterrestrial type individuals, yes.
They are here, whoever they are, wherever they came from, whatever they're doing. Other intelligences are messing around on our planet.
I think that too many people's butts are on the line with us, that they've lied to us too long, that a lot of people have stolen legitimate national security money to keep this cover-up going, that they have perpetuated disinformation schemes on the American public, probably on the British public.
The Air Force knows.
They know that we're dealing with the biggest story of the millennium.
I'm Clyde Lewis. You are listening to Ground Zero. Numbers to call tonight, 888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. In 1979, Phil Schneider was employed by Morrison Knudsen. He was involved in building an addition to the deep underground military base at Dulce, New Mexico. The project at the time, they were actually drilling 4 holes in the desert that were to be linked together with tunnels. Philip's job was to go down the holes, check the rock samples, and recommended the explosives to deal with the particular rocks. And in the process, the workers accidentally opened up a large artificial cavern. Schneider claimed that it was a secret hideout for aliens that lived underground. In the panic that occurred, 67 workers and military personnel were killed, with Philip Schneider being one of only 3 people to survive. Philip claimed the scars on his chest were caused by his being struck by an alien weapon that would later result in cancer due to the radiation. He also lost 2 of his fingers in the fight. Schneider went on to lecture. He went on the lecture circuit speaking about his experiences. And after 30 lectures, his story never really captured the attention of mainstream ufology. And so for those of you that are not familiar with Phil Schneider, here is Phil talking about black budget projects and, of course, Area 51.
Area 51 is only one base, one of the 131 bases. Of these 131 bases, I call Area 51 a mega base. It's got more than one base in it. It's Tonopah Test Range, Area 51, S2, S4, Groom Lake, and a host of others. Now, these mega bases are gobbling up our gross national product. Right now, we're spending 28% of the gross national product on building underground bases solely. That doesn't count for the defense budget. That doesn't count for the spare parts budget. Doesn't count for any of that at all. And the black budget is dead wrong. It sidesteps the United States Congress and its Constitution of its people and says you're a bunch of morons you don't need to know. Well, a need-to-know basis is an executive order written during the Eisenhower era right after the Greada 1954 treaty and is treasonous and illegal in this country and should be overturned and abolished.
Here's Phil Schneider now talking about the alien firefight that he was involved in at Dulce Base in New Mexico.
Anyway, after we drilled all 4 holes, it took about 2 days to drill all 4 of them. And when you build a underground base, you drill 4 basic holes, and then you build called stopes or cross-member holes across, and then you use blasting equipment and special blasting equipment by the analyzation of the rock formation, and you literally blast out or tunnel out or deflagrate or melt rock out to build the large rooms that are required for this underground base. Well, in this process, I was lowered down the basket of one of these holes, and about from me to this elderly woman here in the front was sitting a 7-foot-tall alien gray. The stench was worse than the worst garbage can you can imagine. The person was, or the entity was absolutely horrible. I didn't waste any time or reach for my pistol. At that time, as an engineer, I didn't have time to carry all the folderol of one of these big submachine guns that all the sea spray and the yellow fruit and all the outer perimeter and inner perimeter security people carried. I carried a little Walther PPK pistol with a 9-shot clip. This was in late August of 1979. Now, you got a regular suit of clothes, you got a regular clothes on, plus you're in almost like a spacesuit environment, and you're reaching for a gun. It's not the easiest thing to do, and then to pop a clip in it and start shooting. And I killed 2 of them. Yes, they're mortal, and they do die. However, in the process, one of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt my fingers right off of me, and it was some form of electrical force because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me, completely crispy crittered my left foot, burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember is the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much.
After the many lectures he did about this incident at Dulce Base, Schneider was found dead in his Wilsonville, Oregon apartment on January 17, 1996. He'd apparently been dead for several days, perhaps up to a week, and reportedly had a rubber hose wrapped 3 times around his neck. The Clackamas County Coroner's Office said that he died of a stroke. Officially, though, suicide has now been stated as the cause of his death. The Clackamas County medical examiner took blood and urine samples at the autopsy, but refused to analyze them, saying that the county would not waste their money on a suicide, although samples would be kept for 12 months. When asked for these samples to be sent to an independent lab 11 months later, they were missing and presumed destroyed. Schneider had missing fingers on his left hand and limited motion in his shoulders. It may have been physically impossible for him to have held the rubber hose in his left hand with missing fingers and then wrapped the hose 3 times with shoulders that had limited motion. In order to end up where his body was, he had to sit on the edge of his bed, wrap the hose around his neck, slowly and painfully strangled to death, and then fallen headfirst into a wheelchair. Philip Schneider was an expert in chemicals and his own medical needs. He had multiple pills at hand that could have ended his life quickly and painlessly. He also had a 9mm gun that he had borrowed to protect himself, yet he didn't use it to commit suicide before he died. Schneider claimed that the United States eventually made a pact with these alien beings and created military labs, or my labs, underground. The aliens would share technology with the military on the condition that the aliens could abduct, experiment, and track certain Americans. The aliens were kept secluded in several areas, and paramilitary units would allegedly round up and detain humans for experimentation and torturous experiments. Former Dulce base officer Thomas Edwin Costello also broke his oath of silence regarding the underground base and gave details on how aliens and humans worked together in labs under Mount Archuleta at Dulce, New Mexico. According to Costello, not all of the beings were extraterrestrial. Some of them were the original earthly saurian creatures that went underground and evolved into upright, walking reptilian creatures. It's an amazing story, isn't it? Is that all this was happening? There was something called, he said in a public interview, Costello said in a public interview, that there were rules that needed to be followed in order to keep the harmony with the underground aliens, the reptilian beings. Costello claimed that there was no fraternizing with the aliens in the off hours. It was forbidden to speak to any alien race without a clear business event oriented reason. Humans could talk to humans and aliens could speak to aliens, but that is as far as it went at the work site. However, it was different. There was free speech in the labs. However, everything changed the minute you crossed the threshold of what is known as the hall. Instantly, all conversations became strictly formal. If any human had any contact outside the lab with any alien, he was arrested or just disappeared. Costello hasn't been heard from since he talked about this, and is believed that he and his wife and child were kidnapped. It's believed that Costello had eventually died mysteriously. The other so-called witness was Bill Cooper, who claimed that the beings were known as the Nagas, Nagas, Nagas. It's Sanskrit for serpent men. They're always seen as half man, half serpent. In the Middle East, they were known as the jinn. And if you read Edward Bulwer Lytton's book, The Coming Race, he describes the existence of advanced beings living in tunnels and caverns beneath the surface of the earth. They were called, he calls these beings the Area, saying that they were forced below because of Earth's changes and a flood which destroyed their civilization thousands of years before the biblical cataclysm. And the question is then, why are these alien beings, if they are being held underground, why do we have these bases, and why do these secret bases exist? And are they free to leave these bases in their UFOs or their flying machines or whatever they are? Why would 3 witnesses come forward with such an outrageous story is what I want to know. I mean, when we're looking at these internment areas, these modern alien internment areas, the question is this the foundation for other areas that we don't even know about? I mean, we have a massive secrecy infrastructure in this country. We have untold billions and trillions of dollars that are being siphoned off into this secrecy infrastructure. And year after year, no one seems to pay mind to the idea that we have this secret infrastructure. We know that the classified world has an astonishing amount of money. We know that there's a lot of deep secrecy going on. There is no question of this. But what we want to ask is, and what we need to ask is, how advanced is the technology that these so-called aliens have? What key breakthroughs might they have learned? What can we learn from them? Have we reverse engineered any of this type of this machinery? What are they keeping underground that is so secret that we're not allowed to view it or see it? Alien bases, they're said to be real. We have documentation. We have these reports from Magi. And so, what do you think? Do you think that we have a collusion force where we've learned how to make these Earth-to-space vehicles, and it's been around in Area 51, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base? Perhaps there's a base near Mount Adams, there's Dulce, there's all these places where these aliens exist. And they're here on Earth. A lot of them are here on Earth. And for what reason? 888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. I'm Clyde Lewis. You're listening to Ground Zero, and we'll be back with your calls.
FM News 101 KXL.
Gabriel in California. Hi, Gabriel. You're on Ground Zero.
Hi, Clyde.
Hey, what's up?
I just want to say I love your show, and it is an honor to talk with you.
Thank you.
I've had a couple of comments about the Phil Schneider story.
Okay.
I find it a little hard. A lot of the stuff he says, I agree with you that it certainly sounds tangible. But his personal account of his personal experience doesn't seem too logical. To start with, he says that the military was aware that there were aliens underneath where they were having them blast and dig out a base, an underground base, which right there, that doesn't seem logical. Why would they have them blast and dig out directly above where they knew there was aliens in the first place? And then he says that because he didn't like the way the alien looked and smelled, he fired at the alien. Well, that's not logical. Then he also says that the alien or the entity shot him with a beam, injured him, opened him up like a fish, severed a couple of his fingers, but it didn't kill him.
Right.
I think he would have been disintegrated by this entity.
Well, okay.
Also,
now look. Okay, you said two things. You said one thing that I do agree with, and it's interesting that you know, the idea that why would they have them blow a hole in someplace where the aliens are. But the other two things you said, I don't know if I necessarily agree with. Now you were saying, okay, what's that? Okay, you talked about the situation with blowing it out, and then you said, what was the second thing you said?
Well, these entities are telepathic, so they would have sensed him drawing his weapon in the first place, and he says he had to load it with a clip.
Oh, no. You said that it's highly illogical that a man would shoot at something that he finds repulsive and stinks. I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, if you saw something that was hideous and smelled terrible, and you think you just stand there and let it be in front of you, you'd be terrified and you'd fire at it. Then the idea of something fired him back and opened him.
My understanding is they're actually spiritually advanced beings.
Yeah, that's all of the rainbows and unicorns and kittens ideas. David Jacobs doesn't believe this. There are several other people that I've talked with in ufology that don't believe this. The only person I know of that think the aliens are all nice, sweet smelling and kitties and puppies is Stephen Greer.
Yeah, I personally ascribe to Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yeah, did you see Stephen Greer when he was at Contact in the Desert?
I know he's today's leader of remote viewing now that Ingo Swann, rest in peace, is no longer with us.
But I asked you a question. Did you see Stephen Greer at Contact in the Desert?
Yes.
You did. Did you find it just
not in person? But I saw some of the footage of it.
Oh, you didn't see his grand entrance when he came in with two men with guns that were basically pointed at the audience, that basically he felt as though he needed a gun escort for a man who believes in peace, tranquility, and fluffy aliens everywhere? I find that very intimidating. Why would he do that unless there's something going on? None of the other ones that were there. I didn't see Hancock. I didn't see Corey Good. I didn't see anybody else there with an armed escort. But he had an armed escort, and I wonder why.
I didn't know Graham Hancock was there.
Not Graham Hancock. What am I saying? The other guy that hangs out with Corey Good, not Graham Hancock. David Wilcock. That's what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, I know David Wilcock.
David Wilcock and Corey Good, they were there. They had no gun escort. For some reason, Stephen Greer had to have a gun escort with him, and I don't understand why. Loaded guns.
Like, I have an esoteric background, and so my ideas and stuff regarding them being spiritually advanced beings are based on my esoteric knowledge.
Well, that's good, but I want to know, though, that do you believe that all aliens are esoterically advanced, or do you think that maybe some of them out there are threatening, like the ones that like the ones that were at Dulce, allegedly.
Well, my understanding is in order to advance spiritually, it has to be based on morality, but there are some that kind of fell away, like the fallen angel story and stuff like that. They kind of went against the grain, and they might be doing their own thing.
Something stinky and hideous could be a fallen angel or some sort of a mutation that could have been a Dulce, and if Phil Schneider was frightened, he would have fired on it. That's how I see it. 888-673-3700. We'll be back.
FM News.
It's always easy to develop fearful notions. A lot of what is happening behind the scenes is cleverly and covertly obscured, and in some moments, the open conspiracy, which we've talked about many times, is obvious, and that those who are the planners that are in control of the world are driven by the occult relationships with powers and principalities that defy explanation. And this may be the reason why many people believe that a lot of the aliens are fallen angels or they're possibly demons. Now, we have some people who believe that they're spiritually advanced beings. And sometimes I worry that this type of attitude about just being friends with aliens because they're advanced, that doesn't necessarily sit well with me. Of the devil. Well, you know how when synchronicities happen, and I'm always, willing to pay attention to them. And after I had the conversation with Tracy and we were talking about Baphomet, we were talking about devils and things, I got a prompt that told me that Liam, my stepson, worked on another video for his YouTube channel. And in the video, he had in bold letters, Illuminati confirmed. Now, I wondered what the heck that was, and so I called him. He says, just watch the video, you'll understand. When I saw the video, I saw somebody say, well, you should talk to your stepdad about this. And when I watched it, I realized why. But I figured that, we liked him on the last time. We'll have him on just for another time tonight because, his mother's out right now working on a television project. So, Liam, welcome to the show.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
John Cena.
Morgan Freeman. Okay.
Yes.
So, I need to talk to you about something.
Yes.
Okay. So you did a video. Where's your video at YouTube? Tell me.
Dogmaster674.
Dogmaster674.
Please subscribe. And like my videos and comment.
Okay,
Please.
like your videos and comment. All
Yes.
right, cool. So, Dogmaster674 is your handle on YouTube, and you posted a video last night. Was it last night or the night before last?
Yesterday.
Okay, so it was yesterday. I saw this, and it was a video for a game called what?
Goat Simulator.
It's called Goat Simulator.
The original.
The original Goat Simulator.
And Guildville.
Okay, so what is the plot of Goat Simulator? Explain to the listeners what the plot is to Goat Simulator and what the object of the game is.
Hi listeners. I have a few things to say. Number one, I like turtles. Back to the point. Also, I like Doritos. Back to the point. There is really no objective or main point to the game. It's just kind of random, but there are a lot of references, a lot of, you could say, creepypasta things that you could get, like the Slender Goat, which Lois said, or Clyde will say that we'll be talking about later. So the main objective to the game, I guess, is just to have fun and get all the goats and complete the objective.
Okay, so you have fun and you get all the goats now.
And get all the trophies.
And fun includes what? Tearing up parties because you're a goat.
Yes.
Eating everything because you're a goat.
Yep.
Taking down tables because you're a goat.
Yep.
And killing people because you're a goat.
Yes.
So, okay, as a goat, you kill people.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my living.
Okay, so that's what you do in the game is you kill people.
Or Agent Penguin, which will be coming when I...
Yeah, you were Agent Penguin when you did this, but as a goat, because Liam didn't play as a goat, he played as a penguin. And I saw him playing on the internet as a penguin. So, okay, so you're a penguin, but in the game, most people choose to be a goat because it's a goat. It's called Goat Simulator. So the goat kills people, but what does the goat do with the people once he kills them?
Well, you have a few options. You can either burn the bodies, which isn't really effective. It's just kind of fun to watch because it kind of defies the physics of being burned. The person just lays there on fire, and if they don't burn, there's no smell because you can't smell. And also, it's strange. You can run up and headbutt someone in their face, and the other people won't get scared. But when you lick the other person, they all run.
Okay.
So what you can do with the bodies is you can get. And I'll come to Evil Goat later. You can burn them, turn them into ragdoll mode, or you can just be messed up and throw them in front of cars.
But what is the thing that you don't see often, but you saw it and uncovered it, and it was really creepy? What did you uncover in the game?
You can get someone called Evil Goat, which is you have to find the hidden kind of occult circle in the mountains.
Who's on the occult circle?
Baphomet's face guy.
Baphomet?
Baphomet face.
It's a Baphomet face.
Yes.
It's Baphomet, the devil goat.
Yes, and then a lot of baloney symbols around it all.
So what it is a bunch of sigils.
Yes.
A circle, and you have the goat's head of Baphomet.
Yes.
Now, when you saw that, what was the first thing you thought when you saw that?
Illuminati.
You thought Illuminati.
Yes.
Now, what is it? I mean, this is interesting because, I don't talk about the Illuminati often on my show, but we'll get to it after the break, but I just wanted
to... their music?
Yeah, we're going to start. We're going to go to a break right now, so we'll do that. Liam with me, talking about a new game that he is playing on his YouTube channel, Dogmaster. What's the channel again?
Capital DOGE _MASTER 674.
674. Dogmaster 674. Liam you're gonna play that game again when you leave the studio after you're off about 7, correct?
Yep.
I mean, not 7, but 8 o'clock Pacific time.
I'm gonna make maybe 5 new videos because I need to catch up in those weeks.
Okay, so he's gonna go out and he's gonna play that game after the show so you can see him play. And we'll talk more about this game, Goat Simulator, right here on Ground Zero. 888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. More Ground Zero to come. Don't go away.
FM News 101 KXL.
You're listening to Ground Zero. Liam's in the studio with me because his brother's doing a TV project and he dropped him by. But there's a reason for him dropping by. We're not going to talk about video games tonight again, but we are going to talk about this particular game because it does happen to be, in my opinion, cogent to what we're talking about tonight. After we had the discussion about Jupiter and we had the discussion about Zeus, the god, and Tracy was talking about Baphomet and the horn god, Liam put out a video on his YouTube channel, and it was about you're there. There's a video that is basically called, what's it called again? It's called Goat Simulator.
The video?
Yeah.
No, it's called the all capitals. The Illuminati is here. Goat Simulator.
No, that's your video, right? It's called the Illuminati is here. Goat Simulator. Now, I was going to ask you a question about the Illuminati. You and your friends, you guys talk about the Illuminati, don't you?
Kind of.
What is the Illuminati?
The Illuminati is a triangle.
It's a triangle?
Yes.
It's a triangle with what?
I don't know. You just frequently pointed at your eyeball. I know it has an eye in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
You just made the Illuminati symbol. #bad.
Yes. Well, you're the one that was telling me that you wanted to make a video about the Illuminati symbols everywhere, and what were you talking about? I'm not supposed to talk about this?
No, it's secret.
What were you going to make a video and you were going to show the dollar bill and everything else, and what were you going to say about the dollar bill?
The Illuminati's taking over money, burn money.
Because the Illuminati's on the back of...
Yes. I'm not going to make a video about it.
Where else do you see the Illuminati symbols?
You see it. Starbucks is Illuminati. If you connect the pieces, it's Illuminati confirmed.
Starbucks is?
Doritos is Illuminati.
Doritos is Illuminati?
Yee is Illuminati confirmed.
Yee?
Fidget spinners Illuminati confirmed because
how are fidget spinners Illuminati confirmed?
Fidget spinners have 3 points and 1 point in the middle. Connect all the points. It's a triangle. What's the triangle meant for? The Illuminati. Take the middle piece, put the middle piece in the triangle. Illuminati confirmed.
It's an eye. It's like an eye.
Eye.
So you have the eye in the middle, you have the 3 points, you have the triangle, you have the Illuminati. It's Illuminati confirmed.
Yes. Well, I did bring my fidget spinner with me, so I can't really.
Well, I've seen the fidget spinner, so I can know what you're talking about. So you guys see the Illuminati symbols everywhere, and you know exactly what they are, correct?
Yes. I also like eating microphones.
So when you were playing Goat Simulator, how many people do you have to kill in this game? And how many of these bodies do you have to bring to this Illuminati symbol you were talking about?
5. I mean, I kill like hundreds. Don't judge me. It's just funny because they go, and they just fall down all ragdoll.
They do ragdoll, they fall?
Yes. They can get hit by a car like 25 times and then they just get back up and go around and go about their day.
So they're like zombies?
No.
No?
I mean, you can hit one with an axe and it just falls down and walks up.
So your job as a goat is to kill a bunch of people, and then you drop them off at the circle with the star is a pentagram, and then you have the Baphomet symbol in the middle of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't bother you?
Nope.
Doesn't bother you at all?
Nope.
But you know what it is, right?
Yep.
Did it bother you at first?
Yes.
But now it doesn't bother you now?
No.
Do you realize what you're doing? Because your mother told me that she's a little worried that what you're learning is how to do a satanic sacrifice.
Well, I'm never gonna do one of those because I'm not a dum-dum. I'm not gonna go, oh, hey guys, let's go sacrifice people. La la la, kill you, put you in my circle, made of blood. La 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 la. Made of blood, let's burn some more stuff. Yeah.
You're not gonna do that, but you'll do it in a game.
I mean, yeah. I'm more into like hippie, cool stuff, burning incense, being all cool and chill. Hashtag be awesome, not a downer.
Not a downer. No. But okay, so you're gonna. I want people to know that you're going to be demonstrating this game on your video.
How am I going to be demonstrating it?
After you're off the air, right? After you leave the studio, you're gonna go in the next room and you're gonna play it, and then you're gonna go on YouTube and play it, and people are gonna watch you play it. Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah, but like, how am I going to demonstrate it? I mean,
well, you just play and show people because they'll go to your video.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show the circle again, but I mean, I won't do it again because I already have the goat. I can show them what I got from it. But
yeah, what about that goat that has? I saw a goat too. I was watching a simulator of it. What about this goat that has the horns up and the horns down? That looks very evil. What is that?
Oh, that's the goat that you get. That's evil goat. He can kind of, in a way, he stops time and kind of doesn't stop time. That's in a different game. He gets like a vortex to come in front of him, but you can't see the vortex, and it pulls things and living things and objects in, and it kind of twirls them around, and like you can twist them backwards, but you have no control. And then when you press it down, they just kind of hit the ground, and then they just get back up, like I said, because it doesn't follow the laws of
physics. It's just kind of weird.
Uh-huh.
And you were saying too, and want to talk about this too. You were saying something about a slender goat. What is that? Like Slender Man. You were playing a game also the other day. I was watching, and Slender Man was in there. Was that supposed to be in the game or not?
Which one? The Roblox one?
The Roblox.
Yeah, I don't know if he was supposed to be in there. I found him in the window.
Do you think that it gets manifested in the game?
Maybe. People say if you go in the portal and Slenderman's at the window, it will lead you to the right one, but that's all hippy-dippy baloney.
So you just think that was an anomaly in the game and it scared you? Because you were creeped out by Slendy. You were playing Slendy the other day or something, Slendy?
Oh yeah, Slendy. That was so fun.
It was also, you had a look on your face like you were scared to death.
I was.
Okay.
You guys didn't see, but I was playing off camera and he appeared behind me. I can hear him. Also, I'd like to say something. I want to really give a quick shout out, please.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Guys, get notepads ready or get phones or something ready. Ice Cream, this no spaces all together. Ice Cream Bear 3000. Please subscribe to her.
Ice Cream, it's a friend of yours?
Yes.
Ice Cream Bear 3000.
She's been waiting so long. She's been
okay,
like 8
we're gonna take a break.
Okay, bye now.
But yeah, I want you to demonstrate that when you leave the studio, okay? And I thank you for being on the show to talk about this because it's going to lead into what we're going to be talking about later. So, Liam, thank you so much. And what is your YouTube again?
Capital DOGE _MASTER 674.
674. Thank you, man. We'll be back with more Ground Zero. Don't go away.
FM News 101 KXL.
by tonight. Ryan Gable is with us. He's a brilliant man. Had a chance to meet with him again at Contact in the Desert. He also is a host of the show Secret Teachings. And he's got a Bachelor's of Science degree, film, audio production. He's a 5-year radio host, producer, manager. He's done all sorts of things, writing all kinds of books. And I want to bring him on. I don't want to keep talking him up because I want him to get on the air and start talking about some of this interesting stuff. Ryan Gable, welcome to Ground Zero.
Hey there, Clyde. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So earlier we talked about this new game called Goat Simulator that Liam is playing, and that when he played it, he told all of his followers that this is Illuminati confirmed. And I looked at it and I said, well, I don't know if it's Illuminati, but it certainly has these overtones of Satanism. And I actually had pointed out that, sometimes I think the Illuminati is the most abused word in conspiracy diction. And that it basically rolls everything together with, one roller brush. But you have a different opinion of it. I really like your opinion on what the Illuminati is. Can you kind of explain what your position is on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the word Illuminati as a socially used word is very overused and misunderstood. The original word means enlightenment. It means the enlightened, meaning anybody who is enlightened above that of the average intelligence per se, could be considered a member of the Illuminati. Are there actual secret societies? Are there perhaps meetup groups today? Are there social circles where people consider themselves members of the Illuminati? Sure. But does that mean that they are part of a cabal that controls the media, education, food, the government, etc.? Probably not necessarily. They're just getting together and using a title. So I believe that the word Illuminati, which does mean enlightenment, essentially encompasses a concept. And when we use the word Illuminati, I believe it takes a very simple to understand subject based on loads of research and time spent on understanding the symbols that you mentioned, understanding the occult sciences, understanding the secret teachings, opening yourself up to any and all possibilities, and looking at things objectively without reacting with emotion. And when we can do that, I think that the world we see, the world that we perceive, becomes a little bit easier to understand. So yes, the concept of black and white, good and evil, is the basis and the core foundation for mythology and religion. And even in politics, it's either one or the other. It's good or evil. It's black or white. But that's not really what I think we're experiencing, what we're witnessing, what we're perceiving. We perceive something very simple, and yet it's very complex. And people think the complexities make this subject really hard to understand. And so they just place this label Illuminati on it when it's so much more complicated, but again, simple to understand when you do the research and understand what these symbols mean.
Coming to the U.S. as opposed to going across a landmass with an artificial border. It's a different
they
story.
are vetted, they are sure to bring over diseases that maybe become contagious or somehow create a problem for our country.
Diseases, then we're not bringing them over. If the policy is you can't come over if you have extremist views or if you have a disease, then what is the issue for us in the U.S.? It's not an issue.
It is an issue. It's an issue with anyone. It's an issue with anyone from any country, from any part of the world. It's an issue.
Yeah, but you didn't say that in your narrative. Your narrative was about those people over there, those immigrants we fear terrorism. But guess what?
No, I said you fear terrorism, but I said you fear terrorism from immigrants, but you should also be afraid of the diseases they bring with them. And it's true.
Yes, but we vet them if they're coming over legally.
You make me sound like, you always make me sound like I hate Muslims. You know what? I don't hate Muslims, and I'll tell you why. Shut up. I'll tell you why. The reason why I don't hate Muslims is because a goddamn Muslim saved my life. You understand me? A Muslim saved my life. I had cancer. He was a doctor. He was an Afghani doctor. He was Muslim, and he saved my life. Got it? So don't sit there and make me sound like I'm some xenophobic person against Muslims when I can tell you right now, Rose, I wouldn't mind having Muslims in my country if it weren't for the fact that we've been bombing the hell out of these people and they hold resentments and they could come over here and do the same to us.
Why are you generalizing? Why are you making such generalizations about a whole group of people?
I'm not making a generalization about a whole group of people. I'm making a statement. I'm making a statement about vengeance. I'm making a statement about anger. I'm making a statement about deep-rooted anger and resentment from us bombing countries that we bring them here and they come here. And what do? They hate us even more. They hate the fact they have to be here. They hate the fact they have to go against their own morals, what morals they have set for themselves, and they break out and they kill or they harm.
Well, there you are, expressing bigotry.
That is not bigotry. That's reality.
Blanket generalizations that they all hate us, that they all resent.
Did I say that? Did I say they all hate us? Did I say they all hate us? Did I say they all hate us? Did I say that?
You said there was resentment.
There is resentment.
To them.
There is resentment.
Why would they hate us if we let them in? Why would some may turn into gang members like
and those are the some. Those are the some that I worry about.
Well, you worry about that. There's a lot of people who could do bad things. You don't have to be a Muslim or a refugee to do bad things. But you focus on that, and then you focus on what?
Let me ask you a question. Do you know how many Muslims are out there that hate us?
Out where? In the world?
Yeah, in the world. Estimated. Do you know how many estimated Muslims out there that hate us?
Well, I mean, we hate them.
I asked you a question. No, I asked you a question. I want an answer. No. Do you know how many Muslims that are out there that hate us? Do you know the total?
Well, I think it's a absurd question. If we're at war with people and we have enemies with the people we're at war with.
It's not an absurd question.
But what does that have to do with letting in refugees? What does that have to do with letting in refugees?
I'm making a point, and you don't let me make the point. There are 1.8 million Muslims that hate Americans. You realize this? 1.8 million. 1.8 million. What happened? What happened? Where'd she go? Did somebody push a button? Because I'm not talking to her anymore. Who pushed the button? All right, what's going on? Something happening?
Just change my channel constantly.
What's going on? She just go? Let's just go to break. This is weird. I don't know what's going on. Something happened. Let's just go to break. Can anybody hear me? Thank you. We'll be back with more Ground Zero. Don't go away afterwards. So join us for that. 888-673-3700. Let's go to Gabriel in California. Hi, Gabriel. You're on Ground Zero.
Hi, Clyde.
Hey, what's up?
I just want to say it's an honor and a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
A long time ago, Coast to Coast used to be my favorite show, but I can say now that your show is my favorite show. You have more consistently exciting episodes.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that very much.
I think I know why that last caller got disconnected.
Well, no, it was accidental. I don't know what happened, but she left. And I was, I wanted to get a point across that 1.8 million Muslims don't like us. That doesn't mean that they all hate us. That just means that a portion of them hate us. And out of those 1.8 million, you've got a number of people that are coming over the border that may resent the fact that we bomb the hell out of their cities. And I would say that, we can't, in good faith, bring people in that we've wronged. I mean, we got to have a little moratorium here for a while, and then we bring them in. I don't know. I mean, we're causing more problems, and that's the thing is that we bomb the hell out of their homes. We send tanks down their streets, and then the answer is to bring them here. I just don't. I don't understand that logic. That could easily backfire.
It sounded to me like she was calling in from a prison or a mental hospital, and she probably ran out of time on the phone.
Oh, my God.
She just about gave me a headache.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, God.
But,
okay, go ahead, Gabriel.
One of the biggest problems with the immigration is if you look at a country like China, with its biggest problem is their population, and our population is growing so fast that just the population increase is a major problem, and it's not helping. It's making things worse. But also, you started out also talking about the climate change and the Paris Accord, and I definitely agree with you on those subjects. And mainstream science has really gotten bad, and I would say today's leading scientist, in my opinion at least, is Michio Kaku. Now that Stephen Hawking's health has kind of dwindled, I really like Michio Kaku, and he'll pretty much talk about any subject too.
Yeah, he's amazing. In fact, one of my producers worked with him, and he says he's an amazing guy. So
yeah,
he's really cool. I like him too. I'd like to get him on the show. We probably will eventually get him on the show. So
other than that, I kind of have a theory on the chemtrails as well. That was an interesting caller earlier. You had Karen, I think was her name, and she sounded like she really has made an effort to try to bring awareness about chemtrails.
Exactly.
But I think because what happens is people in cities, their nature seems so aggressive, and people are a lot more laid back in the rural areas and in the country areas. But in the cities, it's just such a high rat race paced, aggressive culture that I think what they're doing is they're making the people more docile, and they're probably spraying some sort of like something to sedate the people.
Well, there's always been that theory that they're there to sedate you. It's sort of I guess you could call it a remedy for some other problem that may be, bothering us. And so, yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, because I know it's making a lot of people sick. And I know that, you're looking at aluminum, you're looking at other metals that's in this. And, this has been going on for some time. Just saying that they're going to, get the go ahead to dump all that all those sulfates into the air doesn't mean anything. It just means that, now they're more transparent with it because they can't hide it anymore. Our skies are gray. They're not blue anymore. If you have a blue sky, you're lucky. That's the whole point. So, yeah, I mean, I've heard that before, though. Gabriel, you may be onto something with that. Thank you so much for calling the program. I'm out of time, but thank you for calling.
All right. Thanks a lot, Clyde. It was great talking to you.
Good to talk to you. 888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. Have a few lines open, so you had a hard time getting in. Now's the time. 888-673-3700. That's 888-673-3700. I'm Clyde Lewis. You're listening to Ground Zero, and we'll be back.